I'm heading to the Recycle Santa Fe Art Festival in a couple of weeks, and so today I thought I would show you my new craft booth setup for 2024. If you're not familiar with the Recycle Santa Fe Art Festival, it is in New Mexico, so I will be traveling to get there, but it's just a really good fit for my projects because every vendor there has made their products from recycled and repurposed materials. And they have about 3,500 people that come through the show every year, and they are just kind of motivated buyers because of the time of year that it is, but also because I think there's a strong emphasis in that area on recycling and repurposing. So it's just a great fit for my projects. If you're not familiar with my work, I do a lot of projects from tin cans and aluminum cans, and so most of my projects in the booth this year are made from those two materials, but I also have a couple of paper projects and also some projects that are made from recycled bottle glass. So this will be the third time that I've attended this craft show, and I had really good experiences the other two times, so I'm looking forward to this year again. It's a pretty big show. It goes Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, and there are going to be almost 100 vendors there this year. They also have a trash fashion show on Friday nights and some other awards and events for kids and adults who submit their recycled and repurposed artwork. So if you're interested in recycling and repurposing, it's really a great show to attend for inspiration and just to meet fellow recyclers and upcyclers. As far as my booth setup goes, I'm going to highlight a few of my favorite fixtures once we go out into the garage, but I have done a full video on all of the fixtures that I'm using, and some of them are very inexpensive, some of them are a little more expensive, but I have a whole video on my fixtures and my booth setup that I will link to in the description. I'll also link to last year's booth setup if you want to check that out. There are some similarities this year. I have a lot of the same products, but I also have some new products as well. Also, a lot of my items do have tutorials that are already on my YouTube channel, and you can check those out if you're interested in making your own. Some of the items are new and don't have tutorials yet, but if you are having trouble finding a specific tutorial that you're looking for, you can drop a comment in this video and I'll let you know whether there is a tutorial, and if so, I'll give you the direct link to find it. So I think we're ready to head out into the garage. So I'm out in my garage in my booth, and I wanted to point out just a couple of the fixtures that I use that I really think are worth the money. The first one is this pet fencing. I don't know how well you can see it, and when I back up and show you the rest of the booth, you'll be able to see how flexible and versatile it is. But it's basically just 2 by 2 sections, and there's 8 sections that you can kind of configure in any way that you want to. So as long as you're doing it 2 feet at a time. So I have a little bit of end cap kind of space in my booth, and you can divide your booth spaces up as well. So this pet fence is on Amazon. I think it's less than $30, and I have one section on this side and another section on the other side of my booth that I'll show you in just a minute. The next item is my cart, which this is a pretty nice Rubbermaid rolling cart. And you can see that I have some of my signage on here. It works great as a little cash register stand. It's very easy to move around the booth if you have people that want to look at a certain section. You want to back up and kind of get out of the way. You can just move with the booth, and it's very easy to roll. And then, of course, it's got the shelves and things in the back here that I can store personal items and packing material and things like that. So this is not an inexpensive item. And we did put some wood across the top to make it more of a counter height, so we're covering up the handles a little bit. So we did do a little bit of adapting for this cart, but it's also great for hauling things in and out of the shows. So if you have the money, I would definitely recommend investing in a nice cart. It's just very versatile and useful in a craft show booth. The other things I wanted to highlight were my tablecloths here. I got these at Harbor Freight. They're just canvas drop cloths, and they were $10 a piece. And I really like them because I liked the neutral color of them, but they also really hide the dust and any little lint or hair. They don't show snags if they get a little snagged. They just have worn really well, and they were very inexpensive. So for me, they've been the perfect table covering. Another thing that I would recommend, because it does make a huge difference, I didn't have these the first year that I went, but I had them last year, and that is a little bit of extra lighting. It does make a big difference. I think it definitely draws attention to your booth, and I have 6 different lights around my booth, and these were about $10 a piece. So if you get several, it can be a little bit of an investment, but you can start with just a couple. And these are really nice because they just clamp right on, they're lightweight, and you can kind of put them anywhere. And the last item that I think makes a big difference in your booth is table risers. You can purchase table risers. We just made some out of some scrap wood. I don't have them under the tables right now, but anything you can do just to differentiate your booth. And this is only a couple of inches, but just even having a couple of inches higher and being closer to people's visual range, I think is also a big help. So I would definitely recommend some sort of table risers as well. So this is my first department, and you can see it's just kind of at the front end of one of my tables, and you can probably see the fencing here a little bit better, but it's great for hanging things on. And I've got my little notebooks leaned up against the fencing here. So in this section, I have some Dollar Tree notebooks that I've put some soda can and beer can covers on. And I also have some pens that I've made from the rolled aluminum can beads. And I also made some bookmarks out of the aluminum cans. And so you can see that I left the print on the back, and then I just put a graphic on the front. So last year I had the pens, but the notebooks and the bookmarks are new. And it was fun to use the printed side of the can. In a lot of my previous projects, I've used the silver side of the can and then just used alcohol ink to color them. So this was kind of a fun section where I actually used the printed side of the cans for the beads and the notebooks. And then you can see that the printed side of the bookmarks is also on the back side of the bookmark. So that's department number 1. So here on the other side of my notebooks and bookmarks and pens, I started my jewelry section, which uses 3 sections of the fence. This front little department only used 1 section. And in this section, I've got some watch face earrings and watch part pendants. I also made some paper bead earrings. I've got some bottle glass pendants and a lot of bottle glass earrings, some bracelets. Then I've got my tin can earring jewelry. There's an original version that I made several years ago, and if you saw some recent videos, you know that I made a more recent video with a faux engraved look added to the tin can earrings. And the last section of this jewelry area is my aluminum can jewelry. So I have some little beaded bracelets, lots of beaded earrings. I have a few memory wire bracelets. And this year I added these beaded hairpins that are made from the aluminum can beads as well. So here on the other side of the booth, I've got my Christmas items. I have several wreaths that were made from bed springs and tin cans. I've got a few items that are kind of what I'm calling last chance items. I just have 1 or 2 left, and I'm trying to kind of get rid of them. So I have my bed spring bobblehead snowman, a little Christmas tree made from tin can lids. These were my original dragonflies that are made from magazine paper and aluminum cans. And I also have a couple of these ornament sets left over that are made from the tin cans. These paper words are a fairly recent tutorial that you should be able to find if you're interested in making some of your own. They were kind of a time-consuming project, but they were fun and they used up a lot of magazine paper, and I thought they were fun for a Christmas decoration idea. I also have these sets of Christmas ornaments that are made from the bottom portion of the aluminum cans, and they're just kind of put together two bottoms into a fun little ball shape Christmas ornament. And this is my newest creation. I'm still working on more of them, but I have made these little Coca-Cola can reindeer decorations. And so I have a lot more of those to make, but this is the first one. You can see the little prototype here. I'm kind of excited about that one, so I got to get to work on more of those. And that brings us to the final section and the other front sort of end cap of my booth. And this is where I have all of my aluminum can insects. These did really well at last year's show, and I might have kind of overdone it this year because I decided to make a miniature version of each of the different little insects that I made and sold last year. So I have a little ant version. There's a small and a large bumblebee, the two sizes of ladybugs, a large and small caterpillar. This little grasshopper only comes in one size, but I think he's pretty cute. There's also a large and a small dragonfly, and a large and small butterfly. And I changed the design of the butterfly. I had some last year, but I think I made a big improvement on the wings of the butterfly. They're just really pretty and colorful, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to check the additional resources linked in the description box. If you'd like to check out some of my upcycling tutorials, you can click one of the links below. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.